Good morning everybody. A few weeks ago my Starlight-12 arrived and I've been using it ever since. I have an unboxing video on the channel if you're interested in that. But before we get into the video, just know that I won't be going over things like the exact dimensions of this mouse, so if you're interested in those, you can check out some actual YouTubers like Rocket Jump Ninja or Boardsy. Also, make sure to like the video and subscribe. Now, I'm not some insane techie like Linus or some other big tech tuber. I'm just a normal person that plays video games. I guess I have above average aim in FPS games, and I know a good or bad mouse when I use one. And with the Starlight-12, I have some mixed opinions on it. I'm sorry if you're a Finalmouse fan. I too am a fan of them as well, but I have to address these problems and at least let people know what they're paying 200 bucks for. There are 6 buttons on this mouse: the left, right, and middle, 2 side buttons, and a DPI switch button, which is 400, 800, 1600, and 3200 DPI, which can't be changed. So if you use some weird DPI, it's time to start using the normal ones. There's also no software for this mouse, so that's pretty convenient. Now, I'm gonna start with the pros. The first thing is obviously the lightweight. After using it for a while, even the super light feels kind of heavy. It's 49 grams for the medium size, which is what I have here, and 43 grams for the small one. The mouse is made of some magnesium alloy or something, but it feels like plastic, so you don't really have to worry about the texture not feeling right or anything of the sort. And it only feels cold when you leave it for a few minutes, but once your hand is on it for about a couple seconds, it heats up to some normal temperature, so you don't have to worry about it making your hands cold or anything. And it's not slippery or anything, and the hose improved the grip somewhat as well. Now to the shape. The shape can be a good or a bad thing depending on what you're used to. I believe it's the exact same shape as the Ultralight 2 from Finalmouse. So if that's what you're coming from, then it shouldn't be a problem for you transitioning to this one. But since I came from the G Pro Wireless or the Superlight, it took a few days to get used to this shape because my ring finger would feel kind of awkward when I first started using it. Like it just didn't know where to place it. It was kind of weird. And the battery life on this thing is pretty insane too. The light just started flashing orange after about 2 weeks of use since my last charge, and it charges super fast as well, so that's good. And the side buttons, they're nice and clicky. It's positioned a little more towards the front compared to the G Pro Superlight or G Pro Wireless. And that's about it for the pros. Time to start with the cons now. One of the biggest thing I'm having problems with is with this scroll wheel. Some of you may know that most, if not all, the units that are shipped out, the scroll wheel is positioned slightly to the right, which isn't really a big problem since it doesn't affect any functionalities of the mouse, but that's not what I'm having problems with. I don't know if this is a common problem or if it's just my mouse. Okay, but my mouse sometimes inputs a scroll by itself randomly, and oftentimes it'll input a single input of the opposite scroll of what you're scrolling. Here, I'll demonstrate it. So basically in Apex, I use mouse wheel up to for forward for tab strafing, and mouse wheel down to jump. And sometimes, see, when I only scroll up, it inputs it jumps sometimes. See, right there, and another. And I'm pretty sure it doesn't happen with other mice. See, I have my Superlight here, and it's not doing it. Now the mylar pad falling out is also a pretty common problem. if you don't know what the mylar pad is, it's okay because I don't either. But apparently it's a pad that sits in the mouse that's supposed to make the clicks feel better or something. And when I opened mine to change the switches, I saw that only the left click had the mylar pad in it, while the right one was empty. So I just removed the left one to make it more consistent. And the clicks are pretty heavy even with the mylar pad in, so you'll have to get used to it. Now, another problem, which will only bother some, is that since there's engravings and holes on this mouse, all the dirt from your hands and fingers get into them pretty often, and you gotta clean those out with like a toothpick or something. Lastly, the entire mouse is made of metal, and for the most part they're pretty sturdy. Actually, they're very sturdy, except for the bottom, which is made of plastic, because apparently the signal has to travel out from plastic since it can't go out from metal. Anyways, the bottom squeaks pretty easily when you press on it. I don't know if you can hear it. Anyways, so yeah, don't do that. And that's about all the things I wanted to address. Like the video if you liked it, and subscribe if you want to. Good night.